Buenos dias from Gracia. This is the Rorschach Spain update from the 6th of June, 2024. Quick summary of what's going down in Spain. Let's kick things off with a debate hosted on Sunday the 2nd by news outlet El País, Cadena SER, and El HuffPost ahead of the European election scheduled for Sunday the 9th. Politicians from the major political parties mainly clashed over the rise in the extreme right. Dolores Montserrat, Partido Popular, PP candidate, focused on national politics, accusing the ruling party, Socialist Party, PSOE, of alliance with Charles Puigdemont, pro-Catalan independence figure. More leftist candidates, Teresa Ribera for PSOE, Estrella Galán of Sumar, and Irene Montero of Vamos united against Jorge Bachelet of the far-right party Vox, calling him a fascist and racist for linking immigration to crime. While European elections heat up, Alberto Núñez Feijóo, leader of the PP, hinted at a possible motion of censure or no confidence vote against the government if PSOE loses the upcoming elections. During an interview with El País, Feijóo expressed his willingness to use all available tools, including the motion of censure, which is an expression of strong disapproval or severe criticism that could lead to Sanchez being ousted from the presidency or PSOE's removal as the governing party. Successful motion would require support from Junts per Catalunya and Vox, which is challenging given their ideological differences. PSOE criticized Feijóo's remarks, calling them hypocritical. Later, a PP spokesperson clarified that the party's main goal is to defeat President Sanchez in the general elections, not through a censure motion. This move has sparked debate within the PP and its allies about the feasibility and strategy behind such a motion. Meanwhile, Sanchez is intensifying his campaign for the European elections to make his PSOE party more popular among voters. Recent polls conducted by the Center for Sociological Research show that PSOE is narrowing the gap between themselves and the PP to only 3 points, prompting Sanchez to boost his presence with continued daily events across Spain. He's planned 4 rallies in the final 5 days of the campaign, focusing on mobilizing 300,000 voters, abstention or not voting. He said he remained undeterred despite hostile reactions at some rallies, saying PSOE aims to counter PP's pacts with Vox, emphasizing the rejection of what he labels xenophobic and homophobic policies. From campaign optimism to farmers' protests, on Monday the 3rd, farmers from across Spain and France once again blocked all border crossings between the two countries in an unprecedented protest. Revolta Paguesa, Spanish agricultural pressure group backed by various associations from across Spain, not to mention the Kremlin, led the protest, which is putting pressure on European authorities ahead of the election. Over 100 tractors rallied together to obstruct roads at the border, demanding greater food security, prioritization of local products, and reduced energy taxes in the EU. However, not everyone supports farmers' protests. Truck drivers criticized the blockade and called for government intervention to ensure traffic flow. Other political news: on Monday the 3rd, José Manuel Álvarez, Spain's foreign minister, announced that the agreement on post-Brexit Gibraltar will be delayed until after the UK elections on the 4th of July. Despite ongoing technical negotiations, Álvarez ruled out reaching a deal before the elections, although Fabián Picardo, Gibraltar's chief minister, had hoped for a pre-election decision. Álvarez said he planned to meet with the new British prime minister once they have been elected to finalize the agreement. Negotiations have been ongoing for 2.5 years since the United Kingdom officially left the EU. Key issues include sovereignty, border controls, and the use of Gibraltar's airport. From politics to the skies, Spanish government has fined low-cost airlines, including EasyJet, Ryanair, Vueling, and Volotea, 150 million euros for charging passengers extra fees, cabin baggage, and seat reservations. The Ministry of Social Rights and Consumer Affairs launched an investigation last summer following complaints of abusive practices. On Friday, the 31st of May, Spanish courts fined the airlines after saying these extra fees were unacceptable. The fines are the largest ever issued by the ministry and also prohibit these airlines from continuing imposing such charges. The Spanish Airline Association criticized the decision, branding it disproportionate, and said that it would submit appeals. On the other hand, the consumer group Facua, which aims to fight against abuse of power by big companies and the government, welcomed the decision after a 6-year campaign. Up next, the World Health Assembly, led by WHO, announced on Friday the 31st of May that it adopted a resolution to enhance global transportation practices promoted by Spain. Part of the resolution, the World Health Assembly urges EU member states to expand their transplantation therapies, particularly from deceased donors, while trying to decrease organ trafficking. On Monday, the 27th of May, the EU brought the rules cracking down on human trafficking across member states, including the trafficking of organs. Spain wants to be ahead of the curve regarding ethical transplantation, aligning with EU Sustainable Development Goals to reduce premature mortality and achieving universal health coverage. Speaking of Spanish initiatives, on Tuesday the 4th, the Spanish government announced it was passing initiatives that aim to advance protection of minors in the digital environment, including laws to prevent digital crimes and impose obligations on tech companies who don't comply. The government said these laws will be approved by autumn 2024 and once implemented will be reviewed every 3 years. At the same time, they approved the Verano 2024 program, which gives young travelers up to a 90% discount on bus and train tickets between the 1st of July and 30th of September 2024. People in Marbella have reportedly had enough of bullfighting, according to the expat newspaper The Olive Press. More than 25,000 Spaniards and expats have signed a petition in Marbella demanding that the local council cancel a bullfight organized for Saturday the 8th. According to the council, this bullfight will commemorate and re-inaugurate the city's bullfighting tradition. Marbella Against Bullfighting, the entity behind the petition, adamantly disagrees with the return of bullfights, saying that none have taken place in Marbella for the last 8 years. While bullfighting has been a long-standing tradition throughout Spain, particularly in the south, more than 100 cities in the country now ban the sport, labeling it vicious and cruel. Barcelona City Council said that it wants to outline fixed boundaries for high-traffic tourism areas to minimize the negative effects of over-tourism by facilitating a better flow of people. In areas like Sagrada Familia, they have already started defining project scope, which include improving metro access on the Provenza and Marina streets. Near Parque Güell, the council announced that it would introduce traffic restrictions in the Sarut neighborhood and may redevelop the park surroundings to make it more accessible for pedestrians. Still in Barcelona, as it will host its world-famous Sonar Music Festival between the 13th and 14th, attracting music and drug enthusiasts from around the world, will also take place at the Fira Montjuïc and the Fira Gran Via Hospitalitat. The event will feature a varied lineup of electronic and experimental music acts spanning multiple genres. This year's headlines include globally renowned artists such as the Chemical Brothers, Barcelona's Varion Besalia, and the Apex Twins. Alongside music, Sonar will host a series of technology, digital culture conferences, offering workshops and talks by industry leaders. To wrap up this edition, the fiesta that gets the whole of the Iberian Peninsula fired up every year on the 23rd of June, Spain's beaches ignite at the Festival of San Juan, a celebration of summer solstice. Families and friends gather for bonfires, food, drink, and music as they welcome the official start of summer. There will be many celebrations across the country. Barcelona, the festivities feature bonfires and fireworks on the famous beach of La Barceloneta. Meanwhile, Alicante extends its San Juan celebration over 9 days, including a ceremonial burning of effigies. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. We prepared a super short survey so you can help us improve the show and make it better. Find the link in the show notes. Go to the episode's description to find a link. It won't take you more than 2 minutes to fill out the survey. It'll help us keep the updates coming your way. Thank you, and hasta la próxima.